experience, where you're forced to collaborate with so many people. You're involved in the beginning to end. You're involved with so many elements, and when it's done, you're like, I made this movie. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience them. The only source of knowledge is experience. Practice does not make perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. Be brave. Take risks. Nothing can substitute experience. Life is like playing a violin solo in public and learning the instrument as one goes on. A man who carries a cat by the tail learns something he can learn in no other way. Experience is the teacher of all things. Nothing is a waste of time if you use the experience wisely. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. My personal life is the same. At the end of the day, this is just a job. I love what I do, and it's a great job. But it's like my alter ego. There's Chris Brown the singer, and there's Christopher Brown, the down-home Tappahannock boy that plays video games and basketball and hangs out. Follow your dreams. Just make sure to have fun. Haters keep on hating, 'cause somebody's gotta do it. I always imagined I could be what I wanted to be. Whether it be personal or musical, I just think I'm a walking art piece. Just a ball of creativity. Having the right people around you all the time is important. I do take the acting seriously, but this is all fun. I look at it like smoke and mirrors. I still think it's a dream, but I ain't pinching myself yet.
My mother taught me to treat a lady respectfully. Brainy quote. Background previous quote. Chris Brown quotes. Background next quote. Loving is doing anything for them, thinking about them constantly, and being able to spend your whole life with that person. Liking somebody is just like, okay, I like them because of this, and this, but I don't know if I am ready to be in love with them. Since I'm always working, my best holiday memories are definitely when I can just go home and spend time with my family. I used to feel so shy speaking to girls. It was even worse when they were around their crew because they would diss me. Girls are losing their virginity at 15, 16. I'm not promoting that, but my songs are talking about me becoming a man. When I was 12, all I wanted for Christmas was a trampoline or a four-wheeler. I ended up getting both presents for Christmas. I would say I'm an inspirational guidelines book. You can take my life story, or scenarios or songs, and relate to them, and apply them to your everyday life. I think the key is basically just your determination. As far an artist is concerned, it's just about your drive and your dream. I like low-maintenance girls, but at the same time, classy. She needs to take care of herself, but also be a girl who isn't afraid to get sweaty and play basketball, so it's cool if she's a tomboy. Background previous quote. Chris quotes. Background next quote. It's about the characters, it's about the film, it's about the process of making stunning visuals, and a huge, epic movie. It doesn't matter if my head was covered in a black plastic bag, and I was bouncing around in a space hopper. That's the villain of Chris Nolan's Batman. I'm very sensitive. Because my mom was my primary emotional caregiver growing up, I found myself being pinned into dresses, darting her dresses, choosing her high heels for the evening or what to wear. I'm very much a mommy's boy. I have a very busy head. I have inside voices that I have learned to contain.
Style, I think, is panache. Who are you? What did you do today? And what are you worth to me? What do you have to offer the world? How did you spend your time today on this planet? How are you spending your time every second? What are you doing now? Are you alive? Or are you somnambulant? The lack of carbohydrates can make you a little crazy. A lot of people say I seem masculine, but I don't feel it. I feel intrinsically feminine. I'd love to be one of the boys, but I always felt a bit on the outside. Maybe my masculine qualities come from overcompensating because I'm not one of the boys. I'm not a big guy anyway. I'm only, 150 pounds. I was 190 for Batman, 179 for Warrior. Films make you look big. Jiu-jitsu is very Buddhist. All that we fear we hold close to ourselves to survive. So if you're drowning and you see a corpse floating by, hang on to it because it will rescue you. I'm from a nice, suburban, middle-class family, but my tattoos remind me where I've been. I play Xbox. I have a little boy to look after. I have dogs. You know, I have things to do. I would love to be able to sit down and watch something like a movie. I watch my own movies because I have to. Being an only child, I didn't have any other family, but my mom and dad really, since the rest of my family lived quite far away from London. If you're lucky like me, your relationship with your brother has resolved itself on the peaceful side of the fence and has stayed there. But if you're someone who's got a family that's all fractured and finding it hard to relate, That's a very sad place to be. Fame and stuff like that is all very cool, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Although what I do is incredibly surreal and fun and amazing and I'm really grateful for it, I don't believe my own press release. Do you know what I mean? I'm into parlor dramas. I'm into theater. I'm trained for the stage. I trained to do Chekhov and Shakespeare. I was trained for the stage. There's an abundance of exposure. When you start working in American films, inevitably you become a brand and that has to be controlled.